Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl, the Brooke Ashley, and today we are here to discuss The Real Housewives of Potomac, Season 7, Episode 4. And before we begin, if you've been watching me for any length of time, you already know that I will be getting on Robyn. Because Robyn, are you kidding me? You went on national TV and that's the family fun day that you could muster up? This is supposed to be about a group of well-to-do, rich women, and that's the best you could do.
No.
But let me not jump ahead. Let's just jump right on into it because you guys already know that we don't have a minute to spare. Oh, and one more thing. I saw that we finally got the taglines, and hands down, I think that Candiace and Karen had the best taglines. Gizelle, I'll give you an A for effort. I was glad that for the first time ever, we didn't get a variation of word on the street, okay? So I thought that her tagline was an improvement. But anyhow, we jump into this episode with Wendy and her family. They're hanging out at the park, and her boys, Carter and Cruz, were like doing some exercises or some workouts with their trainer because I think that both boys play football. And may I just quickly say that Wendy and Eddie have such a beautiful family. I mean, the kids are so adorable, especially the baby girl, Cameron. She is too cute and she stole the show in this scene for me. So anyhow, Wendy and Eddie are talking and Wendy's briefing Eddie on her conversation that she had with Peter Thomas. Now, we all know that Wendy wants to open up a Nigerian bar/lounge, and a few of you guys had some great ideas in the last recap. You were saying that Wendy should look into opening up like a Nigerian food truck, and I think that that might be a better idea than doing a lounge. But anyhow, I digress. So she's telling Eddie that Peter liked her idea and now they start running the numbers and she says that it's going to be about 1.6 million and her share is going to be 300,000. So she says that because it's not a 50-50 split, she won't have to spend so much time at the lounge. Eddie's not here for it. He makes it clear that she already has a lot on her plate. He's not understanding how she plans on fitting a restaurant/bar/lounge in the picture. And I'm with Eddie. I think that Eddie has every right to be concerned. Wendy, I think that you are stretching yourself way too thin. And I also meant to say this in last week's recap. You would benefit by getting a personal assistant and a nanny. You do need some help. You have a busy schedule, a demanding career. You're a reality star and you're going to need to hire people to take things off your plate. Just my 2 cents in the matter. And especially if you really plan on making this restaurant/bar happen, I definitely think that you're going to need to hire some help. Now, Wendy, whether you do or don't go into business with Peter Thomas, I will say this. Come season 8, I do want to see a different storyline because I'm getting tired of seeing the same old thing where you're opening a new business. So they changed gears in the conversation, and now Wendy brings up Ashley's dance class the other day and how Robyn started getting rude and aggressive. So she says that she was confused as to why Robyn was so hostile towards her, and we were all confused as well. Because I don't know where it came from. And it feels like Robyn's trying to turn it up a notch because she's tired of being referred to as the boring one. But Robyn was doing way too much for no reason. So now Wendy says, to add insult to injury, Robyn invited everybody in their family to a family fun day except us. So Eddie jokes around and he's like, so basically Robyn said, F them kids. And Wendy says, yeah, pretty much. Now Wendy and Eddie, y'all didn't miss anything, and man's rejection is God's protection because what Robyn threw together was a hot, raggedy mess, and I had secondhand embarrassment. So now we see a parallel scene with Robyn at home with the boys and Juan. So she's prepping them for the family fun day, and they're doing a sack race in the backyard. So it was so funny because the little son was like, Dad, I'm gonna beat you because you're a world-class bench player. So now the boys are still playing in the backyard, and Juan and Robyn go off to talk on the patio, and Robyn brings up her spat with Wendy the other day at the dance studio and how she pretty much invited everybody except for Wendy. So now Robyn goes on to say that despite her issues with Wendy, she would never want anybody to think that she's trying to purposely leave out their kids. So Robyn comes up with this harebrained scheme where she's gonna have Candiace call Wendy and ask if she can bring Wendy and Eddie's kids to the family fun day, and Candiace will be on auntie duty. So Robyn, that guilty conscience was eating you up because this whole idea was stupid and you know it. First of all, don't give me any secondhand invitation. If you already invited everybody in front of my face and told me that me and my kids are not welcome, stand 10 toes down in that, and it is what it is. But don't try to double back now and say, well, you know what, I feel bad because of the optics, so let me have one of our other friends in the group have your kids come to this event that I had originally excluded you guys from. Absolutely not. And Juan sounded so foolish talking about, yeah, that's a great idea. Compromise, like that's great. It was like, Juan, what's going through your head? He should have said, Robyn, that makes no sense. What's done is done. You didn't invite them, so don't even try to reach out through Candiace trying to invite the kids now. It's too late. So now Robyn brings up the whole drama between Giselle and Candiace because of this whole mess regarding Chris Bassett, where she's trying to basically accuse this man of doing something inappropriate. And Juan says that he does feel like Chris should apologize if Giselle felt uncomfortable. And once again, I feel like Chris and Candiace should give Giselle their asses to kiss because Giselle is reaching for a storyline and she knows it. She already confirmed that he didn't say anything or do anything inappropriate and he didn't touch her. So for her to try to throw these loose allegations out like something almost went down and she felt so uncomfortable, like this isn't right. We have too much going on in the world today for her to sit up here and try to throw these kind of things out. It's not right. And Giselle, like I told you in last week's recap, this is nothing to play with. You could easily get yourself fired from this show or get the whole show canceled. I would quit while I was ahead. Again, it's the wrong road to go down. And now we see Wendy telling Eddie about the drama with Giselle accusing Chris Bassett of making her feel uncomfortable when they were filming the reunion. And even Eddie was shocked. He was like, the same Chris who used to cook them dinner all the time, now they want to get him? Like, that's crazy. You could see that Eddie wanted to say more, but he was like, you know what, let me just chill. Because he was like, well, damn. Last year it was me. Like, they're always trying to gun for somebody's husband. So now we flip right on back to Robyn. She goes in the house and she FaceTimes Candiace. And she's like, Candiace, I need to ask you a favor. Can you put on your auntie hat for the day and ask Wendy if she'll let you take her kids down to the family fun day? And Candiace is like, sure thing. But then she lets us know in the confessional that there is a 99.9% chance that Wendy's gonna say, girl, stop. Like, absolutely not. Go to hell. That's not happening. This next scene with Karen gave filler. Nothing to really talk about. She's in the kitchen throwing out some chicken. We find out that she's on this health kick because she went to a doctor and tested for, I guess, what she's like allergic to or what she really can't digest properly. And chicken is one of the things that she really can't eat anymore, so she's throwing it all out. We see her FaceTime with her daughter, Raven. Raven is thriving in New York, and not much was said. So we don't need to really go over that. I'm gonna be honest with you, this whole episode felt like a filler episode. And Bravo, I need y'all to give us all 10s when it comes to these seasons. We don't need these little episodes that were just, thrown together. We want some good stuff, okay? Like, don't give me a whole plate filled with sides. I need some meat there. Give us something substantial. But yeah, this scene, I was like, yeah, we can just move right on along. And season 8, Karen, I'm gonna need you to come stronger with the storyline, because this whole thing about Ray's unhappy about you enhancing your body and you're still looking good and he's getting all old and worn out, we're tired of it. We want something new and fresh. Now we jump to the next scene with Ashley at home. Her publicist, Aunt Taya, comes over. And a quick side note, ever since Ashley and Michael joined this show in season 1, I feel like we have never gotten a tour of that home. Every time we see them filming at their penthouse, we see them in the living room and then we see a shot of the bar. But I've never seen the kitchen. We've never seen the bedrooms. I'm like, I don't know. I think it's just so weird to me. I feel like everybody else, we've seen the full house. We've seen the bedrooms, the closets, the living rooms, the family rooms, the kitchen, the basement, if they have a movie theater or whatever. It's like, I don't know. It's always the same shot in that same area. And it's a tight shot too. I just feel like I can't get a good gauge of what the actual penthouse looks like, if that makes sense. So Ashley goes on to say that she and Michael have a joint statement that they want to release in the coming weeks because they want to get ahead of things, especially if Michael should want to date somebody sometime soon, or if he goes to a strip club and has some TNA in his face. She does not want anybody coming to her talking about, well, I saw your man and he was out there with some woman. Like, you know, she just wants to get it out in the open now that they are already separating and about to divorce. So it's no problem what he decides to do. And I want to give a big thank you to production for this grade A shade and pettiness, because when y'all started playing that montage as Ashley was reading that joint statement, I screamed. One thing about Potomac, the production team is chef's kiss. I mean, they are really in on the joke and the shade is unmatched. And I love how it also adds another layer of fun. But anyhow, Ashley finishes reading the statement. Her publicist likes it and she just lets her know that when this statement comes out, people are still going to have something to say. The trolls are still going to troll, and she needs to brace herself for that. Then her publicist lets it be known that she wants this statement to come out soon, definitely before Mother's Day, so sometime in April, and they agree to put it out next Friday because I think it was already March 30th. So now we jump to the next scene and we see all the ladies getting ready with their kids to head on over to Robyn's family fun day. We see Gizelle in the car with Grace. The twins weren't there because they had some other plans. And I said, had Grace known that it was going to be this raggedy, she also would have made some plans with her friends as well. The twins had the right idea. So now we see Mia and Gordon in the car. They're on their way to Robyn's, I guess you could say, event. And they have their two youngest in the car with them as well. The oldest boy didn't want to come because he already had plans of his own. But anyhow, as they're driving, they had passed by this huge Mormon church. And Mia tells a story of when she was little. They used to pass by that Mormon church all the time. And she thought that it was Disney World. So since she's on the topic of her childhood, she brings up the relationship and the drama between her and her mom. So she goes on to say that her mom is still in her 20s and 30s mentally, and how she needs to have some more compassion and empathy for her mom, and that she cannot expect her mom to be a mother. Now, when Mia brought this up, I was thinking, Mia, do you have to bring the mood down talking about something so sad and traumatic in front of your little children? You guys are on your way to a family fun day. You should be talking about light and fun and cheery topics, not about all this. And I felt like, I don't know how you went from you thought that that big Mormon church was Disney World to about your trauma and what you went through with your mom growing up. I was like, girl. So now Mia brings up how her friend Jacqueline is going to be there today, and how Jacqueline and Robyn hit it off and they met up in LA some time ago, And so Mia says, now hold on, like, these are my friends. And I said, oh, okay. So now it makes sense as to why Mia and Jacqueline have fallen out, because Mia probably feels a way like Jacqueline's trying to horn in and steal her friends. So now Gordon goes on to ask Mia where she and Candiace stand. And Mia's like, I mean, you know, we're good. Like, we're good. I mean, honestly, most of the time, I don't even notice that Candiace is there. And it's like, Mia, just so you know, the feeling is mutual. Candiace is not checking for you either. And another thing, I don't know why you have all this beef and all this anger and animosity towards Candiace in the first place. You started with her. The day that you were at her video shoot asking her mom all those personal questions about Chris, you were out of line for that. And Candiace had every right to check you and get you together because you were out of order. I don't understand why you have all this hate for her. Like, it's weird. I'm just really hoping and praying that this is Mia's last season, because talk about a flop. So, child, we flip over to Robyn and her boys at this field. Mia and her family arrive first. Mia's looking around like, are you serious? Is this it? We drove all this way for nothing? Now, Mia, when you're right, because again, what the F was this? This was not even basic. This was raggedy. I said, Robyn, you thought that this setup was okay. You had about 10 of those potato sacks, a little rope for a tug of war, a table with Party City tablecloth that wasn't even tacked down. The tablecloth was blowing and flapping in the wind. 3 tinfoil pans. I said, where was the catered spread? Where were the tents? Where was the DJ with some music? This should have been a full-blown event. Where were the balloons? Where were the hula hoops? Where was the volleyball net? Had this been on another franchise, i.e. Jersey or Beverly Hills or Orange County, this would have been an entire event. If y'all are supposed to be representing rich, upper crust black women, then y'all need to do it right. This was unacceptable. You didn't even have a bounce house for the little kids. Like, what's going on? Where were the t-shirts for everybody? It should have been a whole bunch of t-shirts that said Robyn's Family Fun Day. Where were the goodie bags or the trophies for the winners? Like, what was this? You just slapped this together and said, okay, guys, here you go. It didn't look fun or festive at all. This wasn't even thrown together, because I've seen some thrown together parties that were still better than this. And to add insult to injury, it's a family fun day, but why is your man not there? The father of your 2 children, why wasn't he there? I know Wendy was on the floor laughing when she saw this scene. So anyhow, everybody starts arriving. We see Giselle and Grace show up. Robyn's soon-to-be sister-in-law was there. Jacqueline arrives with her ex-husband and their children. And Jacqueline kept referring to her ex as her PP, which means her parenting partner. So we see Karen show up, and Karen's allergies are acting up. Now, honestly, I think that Karen was just doing that because she did not want to speak to Charrisse, because Charrisse was also there. So mind you, Robyn announces that she received a text from Candiace that Wendy's kids will not be in attendance. So now Robyn says, so it was never about the kids. Like, I got it. And it was like, Robyn, are you serious? You're just so hell-bent on acting like Wendy's this awful person. And I loved how Karen checked you and said, Robyn, you know that doesn't make any sense. Why did you exclude her and her kids the first go-round? That was messed up. You were wrong for that. And you know good and damn well that no mother is going to bring her kids with somebody else to an event where the host doesn't even like the mom. And she said, Robyn, why don't you do that? Leave your kids with somebody else. Like, just stop. Stop trying to make it seem like Wendy's in the wrong. You're the one in the wrong. And like I said, don't give me any secondhand invitation. If you didn't want me there the first time, then don't come doubling back around now talking about, okay, well, you know, if your kids can come now, if you bring them with somebody else, no, we'll pass. And then we see Wendy in her confessional saying that there was no way that she was going to do that. And she says that every mother would agree with her that they would not send their kids somewhere where they originally weren't invited. And when Karen was saying, you know, that's not right, you don't do that to kids. And then Gizelle stepped in and said, Karen, you weren't there. And I said, okay, Gizelle, when has that ever stopped you from inserting yourself in conversations where you weren't privy to what happened either? So when I tell you that this family fun day was so disorganized, Gizelle has to take charge, and now they start off with the sack race. We see Karen finish the sack race. She goes off to the side for some water because she's just coughing nonstop. She says that she has a respiratory infection, and then she's like, you know, putting her hands up, just trying to breathe. So then she walks over to Gordon and she's like, Gordon, can you walk me back to my car? I'm going home now. So Karen says, shout out to everybody, I have fun. And we see her walking off to her car.
Oh! Shout out to everybody, I have fun.
I gotta be good.
And everybody's like, they don't buy it. They think that she just wants to get away from Charrisse. So Charrisse is watching and she's like, wow, you know, she really doesn't like me. Like, she really wants to get away from me. I guess I have that effect on people. So now Gizelle says, I mean, I'm just so confused because when I was talking to her the other day, I brought up your name and she was talking about who? Like, who's that? Personally, I feel like if Karen can go at it with Gizelle, Robyn, and Ashley, I mean, they've gotten into some nasty arguments. Ashley called Karen the fake Tina Knowles. Gizelle was making fun of Karen and Ray with the taxes. They got into it at Wendy's dinner last season. I mean, if they can go at it and be friends again, then surely Karen and Charrisse can get over whatever they got into. And Charrisse and Karen used to be really close. So it's just really baffling that Karen has all this animosity towards Charrisse. But I guess we'll see later on why Karen feels so strongly and why the hate is so strong on her end. But I'm just gonna say this, right? There is a small part of me that does feel like maybe she feels intimidated by Charrisse in some way, knowing that Charrisse is the one who put this show together and pitched it to Bravo, knowing that Charisse's contact list is very long and Charrisse knows so many people. Maybe that bothers Karen, I don't know, but maybe I'm reaching. But I'm just kind of surprised that Karen has all this anger towards Charrisse when she's gotten into it with so many people on this cast and they've really, you know, traded some low blows. So now it's time for the three-legged race. They're all having a good time. Gizelle had me screaming because she said, I mean, Robyn, how much time did you spend on this family fun day event? Because again, I'm the one who seems to be taking charge here, not you. And Gizelle, I can answer that for you. Robyn spent all of 10 minutes planning this out and $30. So the three-legged race is over, and now we see Candiace arrive. Candiace says hello to everybody except for Gizelle. Now, mind you, Gizelle is sitting next to her daughter, Grace, and Candiace says, hi, Grace, how are you? Like, good to see you, but nothing for Gizelle. Gizelle has the audacity to be upset with Candiace ignoring her, and she says that Candiace is taking this way too far, and that all Candiace needs to do is ask her husband to stop having conversations with her in private rooms. And I said, no, Gizelle, you have it backwards. You need to be the one to tell yourself to not go into private rooms with a married man. I'm just confused as to why a grown woman is acting like she does not know her own boundaries. If she feels so strongly, she should have told Chris, let's just talk right here. And I am about 99.9% sure that Chris would not have had a problem with them talking out in the open. And I was not mad at Candiace for ignoring Gizelle because I would have done the same thing. I would have paid Gizelle dust. Because what Gizelle is doing, maligning this man's character and trying to make it seem like something sinister happened, she is wrong for this and she knows it. And I don't want to see any surprise on her face about why Candiace is not talking to her. So now we see all the ladies except for Charrisse and Candiace play tug of war. And Candiace is telling Charrisse why she stormed out the other day. And she says that some folks are desperate for attention. So now it's time for them to play limbo. And it was so funny because Candiace was really only there to just look cute and film the scene because she did not play. Charrisse was like, yeah, I'm not going low either, like, mm-mm. And it was also funny because Ashley had just arrived too with the boys. And when she went low, she fell and the little baby started screaming. He was so scared that his mom was hurt. They wanted to make sure that mama was okay. So now we see Ashley sitting on the bleachers and Gizelle comes over and she's like, Ashley, how's the house hunting going? Ashley says that it's kind of rough because every house that she likes keeps getting bidded on. I said, yeah, Ashley, it's a hot market right now, sis. Things are getting snatched up like that. You might need to put some more pressure on Michael to throw in a cash offer. So here comes Mia being nosy, and she's asking Ashley, why are they getting a divorce? Is it a mutual agreement? And Ashley says, I mean, pretty much because Michael's not really fighting for it, so it feels like it is. Then Ashley says that today was really tough for her, and we find out that Michael got his vasectomy today. So Charrisse and Mia and Jacqueline are like, wait, what? So Mia wants to know, was this already planned or is Michael trying to be spiteful? So Ashley says, well, actually, I think that Michael did it because he felt like I was trying to get another baby out of him one more time. And that was the reason why we hadn't had sex in months, because he felt like I was trying to have another baby. So Ashley goes on to say that she feels sad about the whole thing because it's really final. Just knowing that she will never have another kid with Michael because it's now impossible, it makes her a bit sad. And Mia is real shady because she was talking about Ashley should have popped out another 2 because now that would have been 4 checks. I was like, well, damn, tell us how you really feel. And then Mia goes on to add that the real reason is Michael doesn't want any illegitimate children popping up. And I was like, Mia, did you really just say that? And do folks even use that term anymore? Really? I said, girl, you have a lot of mouth in those confessionals, but it's gonna be a different story when you're face to face at that reunion. So now Mia keeps pressing and she's asking Ashley if Michael ever did anything to her, and Ashley says no. So Mia says, well, if that's the case, then why leave? Now, Mia prodding Ashley and asking her all these personal questions, it felt like it was Ashley's karma because we've seen Ashley in the past where she's asked a lot of the ladies very personal questions that weren't her business. I remember her always asking Robyn about the situation with her and Juan and putting her nose in everybody else's business and prodding and prying. So I said, now is your turn, Ashley, and I'm sure it doesn't feel too good. So Ashley says, look, we used to do threesomes, but I didn't want that anymore, and Michael still wanted that, okay? Like, I'm not on that type of time. I want to be monogamous, and since he doesn't want that, we're going to go our separate ways. So I think Mia said, been there, done that. We do remember in last season, Mia revealed that her and Gordon do have threesomes. So then Jacqueline says that her ex-husband Patrick used to want them all the time. He said that it would spice up their marriage. And she says at a certain point, it was like, I'm just too old for all this. Like, I need to be enough. So Ashley's asking Jacqueline if she's bisexual. And Jacqueline says, look, I don't know. All I know is that I'm attracted to people. I'm still figuring it out for myself. Now, here's my thing with women having threesomes. I feel like you need to only do that if that's what you really want. If you want to do it, if you are attracted to women, have at it. But for the women who are straight as a pin and they are doing this to try to stop their man from cheating, that is a losing game. But I feel like you're setting yourself up for failure when you're doing that to stop a man from cheating. Like, just so you know, he will cheat on you if he wants to cheat on you. And all the threesomes in the world, that's not going to stop that. And even though I know that Ashley had said that she was bisexual in season 1 at the reunion, there's a part of me that feels like those threesomes were really not for her. It was to keep Michael. Now, maybe I could be wrong, but I feel like Mia as well is another one who she was doing it or still doing it to keep Gordon happy, not because that's what she really wants to do. And that's another thing. I feel like when you open up that door, I feel like you can never go back to just you two. That's a very slippery slope. And Ashley, like I've said before, like we've all heard the old saying, how you start is how you finish. And people don't change. I just think that it was foolish of you to ever think that Michael would go from that to now wanting to be monogamous. If that's not who he is, that's not who he is. And you set yourself up for failure thinking that you can change somebody. You can't. And if he is going to change, it's going to be of his own volition. Not because you're forcing him to change and be this family man and faithful husband. So Robyn's family fun day has come to an end, and she's thanking them all for coming out. And once again, Robyn, you missed the mark with this. But anyhow, we end the scene with Ashley and Candiace talking, and Candiace is telling Ashley all about her IVF journey and how she pretty much put the process on pause, and she feels like a failure because it's not going the way she hoped. So Ashley's giving Candiace some words of encouragement, and she's like, Candiace, you didn't fail. Just go back to the drawing board, regroup, but it's gonna be okay. And then she says that she put Candiace in her journal the other day, and she sprinkled baby dust on her name, and she's wishing the best for her in this process. And Candiace had me screaming. She was like, baby dust? Like, what's that? Is that voodoo? If Jesus ain't in it, then I don't know if I want it. Now, personally, I don't want a sworn enemy praying for me or trying to offer me words of encouragement. You could stay right there. Keep my name out your mouth and out your journal. But I guess it was nice to see them share a sweet moment, even though it's going to be short-lived, because that preview for the next episode is going to be a hot mess. So we get to the final scene of this episode, and we see Ashley driving around. And was it me, or did it feel like Ashley was driving around aimlessly with nowhere to go? She kept circling that same neighborhood. I was like, did you just hop in this car to give us a scene? Because where are you going? But anyhow, Ashley is driving around stressed out because it has been leaked to the blogs that her and Michael are getting a divorce. So she wants to know who leaked it. She's freaking out. She's like, oh my gosh, like, I just can't believe this right now. Who did this? I didn't tell anybody except my publicist and the ladies. We have a very small group, so I'm just freaking out right now. Now, Ashley, process of elimination. If you didn't leak the news, if your publicist didn't leak the news, it was either the other ladies or it was Michael. And I loved how her publicist said, look, there is still time for you to get ahead of this story and release the statement today. Personally, I don't know why you want to wait another week to release the statement in the first place. I would have released that statement immediately. Why wait? So Ashley goes on to say that she's been trying to reach Michael all day. He's in Vegas right now, and she said that she called him several times and it kept going to the person that you're trying to reach. And I'm like, I think he blocked you, Ashley. That's what it sounds like. And honestly, was anybody surprised to hear that Michael was not answering the phone? It definitely seems like a very Michael thing to do. Michael's just so over this marriage and so over her. So her publicist goes on to say that everybody on social media is supporting Ashley and demonizing Michael. And Ashley's like, that's what I was afraid of. But I said, joint statement or not, we were still going to do the same thing. I don't know anybody who liked Michael Darby. I know I didn't. So the episode ends with Ashley freaking out, saying that she's afraid of how Michael's going to react to all this, and how she feels backed into a corner. And 4 episodes in, and I am here to tell you that I do not care anymore about Ashley and this divorce storyline. I'm over it. I truly am. But y'all, that was my recap. I hope you guys enjoyed, and thank you so much for watching. And you already know what to do. Please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you all later. Bye.